We don't usually stop to think about the lyrics we hear or sing to, but they've been training our subconscious minds for years. They bypass the conscious mind and go straight to the subconscious. So just as an example, let's think about the song Jolene by Dolly Parton, and I'm sure most people here have heard of that song. And so when you listen to it, I bet you didn't think, Jolene, I don't know anybody called Jolene, this song's not for me. Or maybe you did know somebody called Jolene, and you said, well, she doesn't have flaming locks of auburn hair and eyes of emerald green, so this song is a big fat lie and I'm not listening to it. No, you just listen to it. And even to this day, I bet you still remember some of the lyrics because they've embedded themselves deep down in your subconscious, even if you haven't actually heard that song in years. As a transformational coach who writes songs, I actually use this behavior to my advantage. And so what I do is I choose lyrics that are designed to play over in the subconscious mind. I'll explain a little bit later how I discovered that my own lyrics were actually my adult self speaking to my child self. So stick around and I'll explain a bit more about that later. We have a tendency to not really pay attention to the lyrics that we listen to. And so that's why people can listen to generic AI music and think it's empowering. I've heard of people literally creating whole albums, like 10, 15 songs, and uploading them to Spotify in half an hour. They don't even have time to listen to the songs themselves before they decide to publish. They type in a simple prompt and click generate. And in under a minute, there you have it, a song. But an AI song generated like this is going to get you a song with words like fire, phoenix, glow, crown, shadow, rise, chains. These words have been used in songs about empowerment for years. And so real writers, real humans will use these words too. It's not necessarily a dead giveaway that this is an AI song because one of those words are in it. The problem is AI overdoes it. And I've used some of those words in songs I've intentionally written because they are appropriate words. They are awesome metaphors. But once you've listened to AI music for a little while, you get to know these overused cliches and you can spot an AI song a mile off. Similar to how many of you are now able to spot AI images and AI text much easier than when the technology first came out. But these cliches are used for a reason. People relate to them and they get clicks. There are channels on YouTube which have lyrics with no human input that are doing really well. The AI systems generating the lyrics have learned what kinds of words humans already respond to. They've been trained on songs from the past where phrases like rise from the ashes or shine your light got a lot of love, and so they use them again. But AI doesn't actually understand the meaning behind the lyrics. It just recognizes that songs it was trained on used words like rise and fire and phoenix. They appeared a lot, and so it uses them. And this is not because the AI has a deep and meaningful message to convey. It's because they fit the pattern. That's what's been used in the past for empowering music, so that's how you create empowering music. So of course, because you also have the programming that these words are associated with empowerment, when you hear them and it goes, yes, this feels good, I remember this means I'm powerful and I like that. If you look through at the lyrics though, you'll generally find that they don't really make sense. So oftentimes the metaphors are all mixed up. When I was first starting to write AI music, I didn't write my own lyrics. I just used the simple prompt. So I just wrote, write me an empowerment track. And I got this one lyric come out and it said, candles hiding in the dark. And for a split second, I was okay with it. And then I thought, wait, candles light the dark. They don't hide there. And so that's the kind of mixed metaphor I mean. It's like it makes sense to begin with. And then when you start thinking deeper, it's like, that's not quite right. There's something to it, but that doesn't work. And you often find that with the AI songs. Regardless of the nonsensical lyrics, they still do bypass the conscious mind and go straight to the subconscious. I realized that what seemed like empowering lyrics were actually just a series of surface level slogans stitched together. And that's not what I wanted to create. I wanted lyrics that could actually speak to my heart and change me. As a transformational coach, I know the power of the subconscious mind, and I know we have the capacity to actually change it. So these slogans don't actually give you anything to hold on to once the song ends. So if you're feeling shame, fear, exhaustion, and you've heard words like fire, phoenix, glow, goddess, it doesn't actually help you work through those feelings. It's like eating candy when you're hungry. Yes, those hunger cravings will go, but it doesn't actually nourish you deep down. So I want to make something clear. I don't want you to mistake what I'm saying on this. I would rather you listen to AI music that is completely AI generated, that talks of rising and phoenix and crowns and goddesses and makes you feel good, rather than listening to completely human created tracks that make you feel like you're not good enough. However, real change, real empowerment actually needs words that speak to lived experience. Because otherwise what you do is you get a rush from the empowerment anthem, but you don't actually have any healing going on underneath. Now that we know that music can bypass the conscious mind, it means we can use that to our advantage. My goal with music isn't just to sound inspiring, and yes, I still want to do that, but it's actually to help you start believing in yourself. So I choose the words carefully to help that happen. When I first discovered AI music, I fell in love with it. And I'm not joking, and people are super critical of AI music. But as soon as I give it a try, I loved it. I love music. I've always loved music. As a child, I was into dancing. I loved singing, but I kept my voice to myself, which is a completely other story. But I loved music. I loved to feel it. I loved to dance to it. But the problem is, over recent years, I'd quite literally gone off music. I'd stopped listening. But I missed it. I was fed up with the disempowering lyrics, the innuendo, and the repetitive themes. About 65% of songs out there are about love and relationships, and while that's certainly a valid thing to write songs about, it's very disproportionate in terms of the human experience. It's the subject matter of many mainstream songs, and to be honest, many independent songs as well. And there are other things you can write about too, but the point is that what you can write about in songs, if you want to be successful, is quite limited. And let me explain a little bit more about that. So before AI music, if you wanted to put a song out there, you generally needed some talent, some knowledge, ability to play music, and definitely the funds to record in a studio. It was expensive. And so if you're going to put out a song after paying a lot of money for it, you're going to want to make sure, the best you can, that this song is going to be successful. So you're going to pick a subject for the song that stands a good chance. So you're going to write about love or any of these other common themes in songs. You're not going to write a song about stopping smoking. You're not going to write a song about being picked on in the playground as a kid. You're not going to write a song about people pleasing. And so you pick something that's proven to work. And what AI music generation has allowed me to do is to create the songs that I've been craving. It's allowed me to explore the feelings within myself. And while the things that come up for me don't apply to everyone, they're often pretty universally experienced by midlife women who are my coaching clients. So I write about themes like putting others' needs above your own, being silenced, believing you have to be perfect. And you don't often hear those themes in songs, but I believe that's what I need to hear, and that's what other women need to hear. I realized something after writing quite a number of songs, and that was that my adult self, my higher self, my wiser self, whatever you want to call it, was actually writing to my child self, the more vulnerable part of me. The child part of me expresses how she feels, and then the adult part writes a song to address that need. I didn't realize this is what I was doing at first, but it was only when I listened back to the songs that I realized that the adult was telling the child what she needed in that moment. When I write songs, there are two ways I approach it. So I either come from it that something's coming up in me and I want to explore it and express it and work through it through the medium of song. Alternatively, since I have a YouTube channel and I'm a coach, sometimes what I do is I say, I want to create a song that my audience would like. And so I might have in my mind that this one is for the woman who's just waking up to herself. She hasn't done anything yet, but she's starting to realize she needs to make some changes. But when I've written the song and I listen to it and I read it afterwards, I actually realize the song is completely about me. I know it's about my journey. Even when I'm writing a song for other people, I write what I need to hear. That's how writing from the heart actually works. I write from where I've been and where I am now, and it ends up being my story, even if I didn't intend it to be. That example I gave before about writing the song for a woman who's just starting to wake up to herself, I didn't think that song was for me because I've been on the journey of doing inner work for a number of years. And about 4 years ago, I did hit rock bottom and have been really focusing on healing myself since then. And so I didn't think that applied to me. But when I read the song back, it absolutely did, because I haven't completely healed. Some of the things I was feeling 4 years ago are still there. And so the songs I write include messages I haven't actually embodied yet. When I write lines like, I don't flinch at my mistakes, no more shame, or I'm brave, I'll say it anyway, it's not because those are true. I still get stuck in my own patterns. I'm not fully transformed. They are the words I need to hear. It allows me to imagine what's possible. And because songs can bypass the conscious mind, it doesn't get rejected in the same way affirmations can. So if you think about that lyric, I'm brave, I say it anyway. Just like Dolly Parton's Jolene, if I listen to I'm brave, I'll say it anyway, I'll just keep singing along. I'll absorb that message. However, if you put it in an affirmation, what can happen is the conscious mind might say, what do you mean you're not brave? You're pretty weak. You don't speak up. And it can actually reject the message. So putting it in a song actually helps you bypass that questioning that the conscious mind can do. As a transformation coach, my goal is to write empowering songs. And the adult self has to do that. The child self can't write empowering songs. When you hear sad songs, that's the child, the vulnerable self creating those sad songs. And while there might be a place for that, when you want to move through your emotions, really feel them, you can't stay there. That's not a great idea. And honestly, I don't write sad songs. What I do is I capture what the child self has to say, and I put that in the verses. And then I use the chorus and the bridge for the adult self to come in and reassure the child. So I'm going to give you an example from one of my songs. The first verse is, I learned to vanish, not be loud. I knew my feelings weren't allowed. I learned to keep my thoughts inside, while my needs got pushed aside. So that's the child self. Now, if we move to the chorus, which is the adult part speaking, it says, I see how much I've held inside, now facing what I used to hide. I'm done denying what I need. I choose me. I matter too. Because music can go straight to the subconscious, you can quite literally use it to change your mind. You don't overanalyze, you just absorb. And when the adult self sings to the child self, it's saying, you've got this, you can rise, you're enough. That message does sink in. Now, if you think about it though, the message that you weren't enough has been going on a long time in your brain. And so you're going to need a lot of reps of the song. You're going to need to listen over and over again, just like affirmations or anything else you do. You do a lot of repeats of the more empowering message. And so the good thing about music is it's designed to be listened to over and over again. Unlike other reprogramming techniques like hypnosis, you don't have to set aside separate time to do it. You can do it at home, in the car, while you're doing other things. I appreciate you watching till the end of this video, and I'll see you in the next one.